All right, sorry about that. A little bit of a hiccup here because I got a lot of stuff floating through. This is probably a worse time to do a review, but I am going to try and make this quick, given the fact that this is a review over Mekton Zeta Plus, an advanced technical manual of Mekton Zeta. So I'm going to show off some quick things here real quick. Look at this nice cover art, everybody. This is some good cover art. I hope everyone can hear me okay. And everything else. So we're going to show some nice cover art here real quick. And here we are with the nice cover art. Look at that. That is enriching. So, all right. So I'm probably going to show off some additional art once I come across it. I'm going to pretty much make this quick. So this is an expansion right on top of the Mekton Zeta core book. This actually, believe it or not, is a little bit different. This actually takes the mecha design, not the character, the mecha. It takes the mecha design from how like the process for the mecha design from Mekton Zeta core, and in Mekton Zeta Plus, it actually adds a bit more detailed of it. This is about almost a 200-page book. And it even adds in some errata rules to it as well. So moving in, so Mekton Zeta Plus is actually, like I said, it is a more detailed. It's the heart of Mekton. The heart of Mekton Zeta Plus is the Mekton technical system with which players and referees can build literally any mechanism, based on technology level, based on whatever they want. And it actually gets a little bit more deeper, like, what is the world cost of your Mekton? Going from there, let me get past the introduction here, because this is actually, like I said, this is a 200-page, and this is pretty much it right here. So this basically adds in a bit more research about how Mektons are created, such as spaces, systems, kills, and so on and so forth. They even added in a couple other systems called the additive. Additive systems are like basically items or machinery that are directly added to the cost of your mecha. Servos, armor, and most other systems from Mekton Z are additive. And then, of course, weapons and the multiplier as well. The multiplier is basically the multiplication process of the cost of your Mekton Zeta, or your Mekton. Mekton Zeta is the name of the game. I do apologize. I have a lot of stuff going on. I had to take some additional allergy medicine because I'm getting my grass cut right now. So yeah, long story short, my lawnmower, I went out, started my lawnmower, started cutting the grass, and my engine blew up. Literally, there's nothing left of it. So I had to have some family member come cut the grass for me because, well, I just don't have a lawnmower right this minute. So I'm kind of like stuttering right now because because this is actually the first cut of the year, so all the pollen is sneaking into the house. All right, so it starts off basically with the frame, which is the primary component, which is the torso. Sir, we've actually learned this from the original Mekton, the first core book. The type of class like the super lightweight, striker, and then cost, space, and kills. It's basically simplified it a little bit, so it is simplified a lot here. But this allows you to actually customize it, like down to the nitty gritty, like where you're gonna place a piece of armor, and where a certain part of your Mekton is actually going to be heavily reinforced, and what kind of armor they're actually doing. Because now, in this one, this is one of the coolest things right here for the armor. All we really talked about in the original Mekton is a class of armor, but we didn't talk about the armor of types. There is actually 5 armor types. There's ablative, which is probably lighter and less dense, standard, alpha, beta, and gamma, which gamma is the strongest one, which adds a cost of twice as much. And this actually gives your Mekton a little bit more characteristics and gets you down, basically down in the meaty and greedy. Even adds in a bit more on beam weapons. And this is actually my personal favorite. It actually helps you right here. This helps you customize your weapons to anything that you like. So it's like, for instance, okay, so damage, you want it to do 7 kills. The cost is going to be 10.5. The range is up to 11. You can go up to 11 squares, or 11 hexes, which one hex is 50 feet. So that can go up to 50 times 11. This gets very, very detailed as you go on. 550 feet, so heck yeah. And then it adds in, and then if you want to do a range increase, like you can increase the range. Say we want to increase the range by 150 feet. This is going to be the modifier. The accuracy, warm up time, if there is any, so on and so forth. And that's not the only thing. And beam weapons isn't the only thing that you can do. You can do, energy. Where's the ballistics? I think melee. Yep, you got melee right there. And missiles. And I believe ballistics is somewhere around here. Probably a little bit further down. You got to take a minute and look at this astonishing art right here. That is very much detailed. All right. So we're going to skip around a little bit here. So that's basically the weapons and then the additive system. You never wait for Chris to get home. I always wait for Chris to get home. And then we go with the additive systems such as crew support. What crew support basically is, allows you additional cockpit and allows you to expand on your cockpit and a few other things that allows you to have extra stuff. Extra crew members and stuff like that. And then you also have sensors and so on and so forth. Also recon systems and some additional stuff that actually helps you with your Mekton creation, depending on how dirty you want to get. Me, personally, I'm going to say this right now. I wouldn't want to get too dirty with this because it is just a role-playing game. Unless I want to make up, like, a different type of Mekton that no one has ever seen before. I would think, so if you're going to do, alright, so Mekton is kind of like based on Gundam a little bit, and Gundam doesn't really have aliens, but if I wanted to get a little bit more dirty, like, what's another, anime, Evangelion, Neon Genesis Evangelion versus, the Angels, or basically, Battletech, where you go to different planets and stuff like that, and then, like, maybe different, or you have a different species that actually has their own types of versions of that. Or Macross Plus. Yes, Macross Plus is another good one. Um, so the whole book is basically just getting meaty and greedy with each individual system and does a super head of expansion on top of that. Um, I really can't beat that over the head enough. And I think I've actually done it enough. There is a lot in here to check out, so my recommendation is to actually give it a good check. Oh, speaking of which, they even added in something additional called Techno Organics, which is basically, that is something like, okay, so Techno Organic mechas are subject to the following rules. Techno Organic mechas possess healing powers, the high level bioengineering. It's okay, so that is basically Neon Genesis Evangelion right there. Um, so yeah, that is another good one. Also light speed. They actually add in light speed, teleportation, some other abilities, and if you actually go a bit further in, it even talks about psionic abilities, where you psionically control your mecha. It gets very much into the meaty and greedy stuff here. Let's move on to some of the other stuff real quick that I want to touch on. It does have a scaling system such as human scale, Robo Striker scale, Corvette scale, Starship scale, excessive scale, and then some advanced rules. Megapunk. Let's see. Megapunk. Mekton Zeta meets Cyberpunk. That is something to go check out. That's where they actually bring in the rules and the bring in the rule set for both Cyberpunk 2020, Cyberpunk Red, and more or less Cyberpunk 2020. Sounds like the devil, aka Dark Gundam. Yep. Brings in a bit of Cyberpunk 2020 with Mekton Zeta. I can't really say Cyberpunk Red because it wasn't out during the time that Mekton Zeta was being written. It does have psionic skills in here, which is, this does actually expand on the advanced rule set of psionics and some possibility. It goes a little bit further in on that. So, like I said, definitely a must check. Let me see if there's anything else different here. Gives you some additional tables too for the psionic powers. So let me actually show that off a little bit. So I am going to show off the psionic abilities here. So right here is where they started talking about psionics. Basically creating a psionic character, active relating abilities, and it basically tells you how to do it and what psionic level are you with your psionic skills and whatnot. So this actually gives you a whole new rule set, and then near the end it actually gives you some errata rules for both Mekton Zeta and Mekton Zeta Plus. So definitely a must buy. I hope the review was actually pretty good. I didn't. It was very hard for me to read because all it really is basically the Mekton Zeta core rules, but just expanded. It's really nothing else, nothing special, but it does, gives you a little bit more immersion into the world that you want to create using Mekton Zeta, or if you want to get into the actual setting, which it does come with. That is a good book to definitely pick up. It is definitely a must buy, highly recommended. Overall, because I feel like the expansion of the rules is a little bit overkill. It actually wasn't my most favorite book to actually get into, especially since I am just starting out with Mekton Zeta, but it was actually still a fun ride. So I'm going to give it a 8 out of 10. Definitely highly recommended and must buy if you want to expand a bit more further in your Mekton Zeta campaigns. For me right now, I'm kind of just going around the whole Gundam thing, Gundam theme from the original Gundam. Me and Spark Chris did actually sit down and watch Gundam Origins. We watched the first Gundam series, and then I think there was one other. We're getting ready to watch the movie at some point of Gundam Origins, where I believe it is Char's counterattack. So for that, the core rulebook actually suffices. But if we were actually to travel to different planet to planet, maybe with different humanoids, like say some aliens or whatnot, I would definitely if you want to really customize your Mekton towards something an alien would have, like another species would have. Versus we also did 8th MS team. I totally forgot about that. We did do that too. But as I was saying, if you want to do like something a bit more further, like say, what is a good example I can use? So for instance, in Macross, there was actually an alien race that actually had their own mix as well. So if you want to do something like that, definitely Mekton Zeta Plus is definitely where you want to be at. So that way you can distinguish the difference between human Mektons and alien type Mektons. And that's pretty much where we're going to go with that. So anyway, that's everything that I have. I hope that was very enlightening for people to actually pick up the book. Like I said, it really, I mean, yes, there's a lot actually in there, but like I said, it is still just the baseline is, it's still just an expansion on the original rules. You cannot have Mekton Zeta Plus without having the core rulebook and knowing the core rulebook of where that originally spawned from. So, other than that, that's everything that I have. I hope that was very enlightening for everybody. Once again, thank you for so much for tuning in, and remember to work hard, play hard, game on, everybody. Have a great and wonderful week.